Guys, it's us again, the insurance panel. Welcome back. It's another Sunday. We're recording on a Sunday, guys. Hopefully this video will go up in the next few days. Hope everybody's goals were met in February. My team hit our goals. I was actually up over 50% of what we thought we were going to hit. So it worked out very well. This particular video was actually an inspiration from somebody who reached out to us via Gmail at theinsurancepanel@gmail.com. There's going to be a link in the description, and this will be a good time for him to put it somewhere over overlay text. It's theinsurancepanel@gmail.com. But Ron gave us this question. Do you have that exact question, Nick?
The question that Ron sent in?
Yep.
Yeah, we read it on a previous episode, a couple episodes back. But the question is essentially, what do you guys take in the home with you? I carry a clipboard with my leads and a zippered pad folio with materials on my iPad. Do you wear an ID badge, as some people suggest? Inquiring minds want to know. Thanks, Ron. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks a lot, Ron. And there's another question I saw on the email. Can you read that one off?
Yeah. You want to answer that one before we get into dealing with what Ron?
Yeah, we'll answer that one really quickly, and then we're going to go into our whole video, which is what do we bring into the house?
All right. So, Price Bourgeois, I think. Bourgeois, maybe Bourgeois. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Sorry if I'm butchering your name, Price. I would like to hear what kind of phone scripts you started with, how that evolved, and what you do now compared to when you started. So thanks for the question, Price.
Yeah.
Want me to start, Matt?
Please, yeah.
I'll start. I use a phone script that was developed not by myself. And I'm assuming you're talking about phone scripts for setting appointments because I don't sell over the phone. And I would not be the person to talk to about how to sell over the phone. There are people who do it. I'm not one of them. The phone script that I use was originally developed, I believe, by some sort of combination of Travis Tubbs and Tim Winders, possibly just Travis on his own. I don't know the legacy of it. I didn't ask. But it's essentially his phone script. I worked with him. I was lucky enough to be able to work and train with Travis one-on-one a bunch. And it's kind of evolved into my own version of that script. And it gets tweaked constantly and it evolves. But it's pretty much basically the same thing. It's a very kind of cut and dry, short, get right to the point, focus on setting the appointment type of a phone script. You get in there and, the only goal of the phone script should always be to just set an appointment. And I don't talk about anything that's not related to that. At this point I tweak words here and there, but.
What you got, Chris?
I said you don't do any pre-qualification. You don't try to any of that stuff.
Nothing. None of it. Nothing. You sent this card into our office. I'm calling you because I'm going to be in your neighborhood on Monday. You're going to be home at 2:00. It's not a lot more complicated than that. A little bit more complicated than that, but it's not a lot more complicated than that.
When I first start, I'll start here. Whenever I first started calling on the phone, and I didn't start calling on the phone until about a year ago because I was trained to never get on the phone. Where I used to be, it was a door knock only thing. So that's why I got really good at just door knocking, is because I never worked the phone. So my phone game is still improving. But when I first started trying it, it was a lot of pre-qualifying. Do you smoke? Do you have any major health conditions that I should know about before I come out there? And a lot of times I'd find myself, the client would go, well, I just probably don't qualify. It'd be best if you don't come out here. And I would lose a lot of money because I would try to overqualify people and I would just spin my wheels. But now it's more or less similar to Nick's. I know Nick has kind of seen mine. I've done a video on how I do mine. Mm-hmm. It's in one of the Facebook groups, probably in many of them. But it's very short. I ask the person if they remember filling out the card, or, once I get them to say yes 3 or 4 times, it's, do you remember this? Okay, let me verify some information. your address is this, your last name is this, and you put your birthday down as this. I assume that's still correct. Once they say yes a few times, I'm going to say, I'm going to be in the area between 2 and 4. Does one of those work for you? And the answer should be yes. So it's a yes, 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 which is like a very Jordan Belfort straight line approach. And I know Nick is he's like, every time I can see him, he's like, man, you need to fix that a little bit. And I'm working on it. It's just kind of how I've done it for so long, but I've been able to set many appointments that way, and it's worked very well. And I guess everybody's has a little something different, but I like to get on the phone now. I don't want to be on the phone with a person more than 2 minutes. I've been able to set many appointments in about 1:15. I would say my average is about 1:30, 1:45.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
The longer I've been doing it, the less that I'm interested in having kind of any conversation with them at all. Like, really, the only thing I care about, I almost even don't care if they remember I'm coming by. I care if they are expecting to be home at that time. And then when I show up, they'll remember that I was coming by. I'll knock on the door. Hey, we talked on the phone. It was like 10:45 in the morning on a Saturday, right? Yeah, the longer I've been doing it, the less I talk.
Care.
Yeah, kind of. It's a process of cutting stuff out and taking stuff out of the script, because you find that over time, stuff that you feel is really important to you is less important. Like the getting yes, 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 which, I mean, maybe is important in a sale. If you're actually like making a sale, I can see how that would be important. For me, that's less important when I'm setting an appointment, because all I really want to know is that they're going to be home when I'm coming by and that I'm not surprising them. But
Sure. What about you, Chris?
So I outsourced my appointment setting, but I will still door knock every lead. And she's really good. She'll send me the disposition of the lead, but I don't really look at it because I don't want to bias myself to what happened on the phone. So I have my leads separated in what is going to be called for this week, and I've got my leads to door knock in the midst of that. So I have no experience calling over the phone, and I would recommend that any new agent that needs the money start off by door knocking, and that's my opinion.
Fair enough. We need to get back to door knocking versus appointment setting at some point, because people said that we didn't do a good enough job the first time we did that, but I don't think today's that day. But
today's not the day. That's a longer discussion.
Yeah.
But let's get into today's video, which is, what do we bring into the house? Inquiring minds want to know: do you bring an ID badge? Do you bring a briefcase? Do you bring just a pocketbook? What do you bring inside the house? Also, actually, Chris, you started off. Give us what you got. What are you bringing in the house?
Okay, I think this video has a lot to do with the what do you wear. So if you're going to play these two back to back, they will very commonly build off of each other. So I'm probably dressed a step below business casual, but far from casual. And I have a bag, an Eddie Bauer bag that looks quite professional that I carry with me. And I'm sure we'll dive into what is in our bags. But I just find that I have a little bit of everything that I'll need, because I'm not going back to my car, because in many of the areas that I work, I could have parked 2 or 3 blocks away. And coming from a paramedic background, you're bringing everything into the house that you need to do the job. And there's no going back to the truck if you're 40 stories up in a high rise. So I've got everything condensed into a bag. It's very organized. It's very clean. It adds a lot to the credibility of what I do. And I can almost reach down and grab what I need out of it without even looking, which just adds to a smoothness and organization that makes the client feel at ease.
Yeah,
that's good.
That sounds good.
I've been carrying the same bag ever since I started. It is a Walmart bag. It's basically essentially a laptop bag, and it's got everything I need in it. I mean, I think you're going to hear about the same. We probably all carry a bag, and we have everything that we need inside of that bag. It's like the Mary Poppins of final expense, right? You just got you got everything you need.
I would disagree.
Do what?
I would disagree. I think there are people that are taught to just come to the door with the lead. There's people that just come to the door with their clipboard. There's people that just carry an iPad that has their lead on it. We might do some disservice because we probably all do a very similar concept.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of variances to this. So
Well, I mean, yeah, what I meant is you're going to see a lot of the same in between us three.
Mhm.
Yeah, for the three of us, I mean, you're the same. Like I brought, because I knew we were talking about this, I grabbed my bag also, and I have a similar thing. I've got a messenger bag, like a medic style leather messenger bag. That's got a couple of nice big pockets in this inside with some zippers, and it's got some side bags that I keep business cards and stuff in. But and it's got room for me to fit my laptop in, which I can't show you because I'm talking to you on it right now, but it's got room for me to fit my laptop in it pretty comfortably. A lot of people like Surface Pros. I use a little Lenovo Yoga 12-inch laptop that is convertible into a tablet. So if I have something that's an e-app or something, I can use that. I use that a lot if I'm doing Medicare type things also. And then I've got my presentation materials and brochures and at least 5 or 6 apps for any company that I'm not going to be running the app for potentially, or doing a telephone app. And that's fortunately getting fewer and further between. I'm down to, I think, only 3 companies that I need to use paper apps for. I'm mostly just carrying brochures for companies like Royal Neighbors and Mutual Omaha and stuff like that, because I do non-paper apps with them. But Liberty Bankers. I'm trying to think of who else. But and then I carry brochures. I run my whole appointment off of a yellow legal pad like that. Some people do iPads. I like having a pad to just kind of take notes on and kind of doodle on, and while I'm talking. Yeah, like people like iPads. I don't know why I never cottoned to tablets. I'm like the only person of the millennial generation who doesn't dig tablets, but I never have.
I'm not that big of a fan.
Well, when we go to the Upland Diner, I'll show you Notability, and I'll convert you on the spot.
Convert me. Okay, that's fair. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry for me. I can tell you, a couple of the people that I work with are like what Chris is saying, though. I know I work with a guy who's doing really, really well. He carries a metal, like almost bank box. Like it's got a lock so he can put checks and things in it, and he can put apps in it, and it's got like a key and it can stay secure. It's about the size of a legal pad. If you saw it, you'd know what I was talking about. And he has a Surface Pro that he stuck a magnet on the back of the screen, and he sticks that on the outside of that. He doesn't have a bag. He goes up with just his Surface Pro, and that, if he needs a paper app, he leaves it out in the car. He's got like a little satchel with a couple of brochures in it, and that's it. And he rolls very, very, very light.
The reason I got a briefcase type thing is because when I still think of an insurance salesman, I think of a guy, kind of what you're talking about, Nick. Anything in your favorite stack of cards in your favor, I want to look like what they're expecting me to be, right? I don't wear the suit and tie, but I'm coming in with the briefcase because when they see briefcase, they think salesman of some time, and they know it's insurance sales time, and I'm going in and I'm selling you insurance, right? And then I got this really, really sweet, it's to put the legal pad in, but it's like this is from Colonel's and Little John. It was about $180, really nice leather. And I take notes on it, and I actually have the other apps that I've done for the day in the side pocket with the check sticking out backwards, so they know when they're looking at it, they see it. This is really nice, and they see the check. So when it comes time to ask for the check, they already see other people have given me the checks, and they know I'm more legit, right? It just puts more things in my favor. Mm-hmm. That has been huge for me over my course of selling insurance. So,
settlers used to give out those kind of things, but they died.
I have one of those. The one that I got from Settlers is really nice.
Yeah.
It's bulky. Like any of those things. For me, that's a little bulky. I'm clumsy. So the fewer things that I can have bulking up and that I can possibly be dropping on the floor and stuff, is the better for me. But not everybody's clumsy, and those are nice. I mean, they look good.
Yeah, I felt bad I couldn't do anything with it because it was really nice looking.
Yeah. Let's do a really side comment. If a carrier sends you something like a Polo or one of those, do you go out with it?
I don't. But again, I know a lot of people do. We had John Duggar on as a guest.
Got it.
That's all he wears. That's when he goes out. He only wears company branded stuff. He does that instead of wearing a suit and tie. Okay. But I don't see any reason why you couldn't. You just at some point have to explain that's not the company.
I mean, you were talking about how nice it is. Like, do you, as a high level agent, do you appreciate those little things? Like
depends on what
the
it
carrier
is.
incentives, like T-shirts and something like this that they send you. Anything that they send you they don't have to, right? But it's their branding. Do you appreciate those kind of things, even though you may not use it?
Well,
that's nice.
I like the family benefit Christmas present.
I like the family benefit Christmas present also.
The more you sold, the bigger it got. I'm like, oh, mine is so small though.
I like the family benefit Christmas present also. It's nice to be appreciated by the companies. It's sometimes in this business, it does feel like it's like you're out there all by yourself, and it's nice to be remembered by the companies.
Okay.
I don't use a lot of that stuff, but it's not for me. I mean, on the other hand, one of the companies that I do business with just gave away like an Apple Watch and Microsoft Surface and gift cards that was their incentive for the month of January. Fast start, put you in a raffle. People got cool stuff. That's nice. I like incentives. Incentives are great.
Cool. All right. That's all I want to know on that. Let's go back to it. Anybody carry a badge? I don't.
Yeah, I wear an ID badge every time I go out. I'm a believer in having ID badges.
What do you got, a barcode on there in case they just scan you into their house or something?
Yes, I do. I have a barcode on here. It's an ID badge that I made. There's a website where you can go and get ID badges made, and you can get like one made, or you can get a gross of them made. And it's easy to do, and they look good, and it's professional looking. It's what you were saying though, Matt. It's like it's the non-verbal cues. It's the stuff that you don't have to say, where you're not saying, "Hey, I'm a professional." You're not saying, "Hey, this is what I do for a living. This isn't just a side hustle for me. I'm doing this. I'm a professional. This is my job."
It's like looking at a mechanic and his hands are all greasy. Why? Because he's under the hood of the car.
Exactly.
You don't have to ask if he's a mechanic. You know what he's doing.
Exactly. Right? And so my whole and this goes back to the how you dress thing. My whole goal with how I present myself is to make it look like I am somebody who is doing this as a 9-to-5 job. I am just a 9-to-5 office worker like anybody else, but I'm maybe more like a social worker than I am a DMV employee. But I'm just a guy out there doing just a job. And that's my whole goal. Everything that I do is to try and line up that.
Sure. Chris, you carry a badge?
No, and I like to come off more neutral with the attire to back up to the company branded stuff. We do have some agency shirts that look nice and present well, but if I were to wear a particular company's item, I would have to explain why they're not getting that company, and I like to explain in the presentation that I work in your best interest. So I have no loyalty to a company, and then to be wearing their material might seem a bit backward. But I just very assumptive looking, but I don't carry a badge.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, I don't know why I don't carry a badge. Just never have. Now I did learn from one of my old mentors, who I'm sure y'all know or remember. But he always carried his license, and he got it printed real big, and
that's because he stole that from the IMO he started at.
Yeah. So
it's not original.
No, I'm not saying original, but I learned it from him. Right. I don't care where it came from. I learned it from him. But you showed the insignia and say, "Is this you?" And it makes you look more official. It makes someone kind of back up. Yeah. I'm your state licensed benefit coordinator, right? That's what he says. Or that's what they say, or anything like that. You showed that early on in your presentation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess that plays well into what's in the bag, into what is in your presentation. I have everything I need in my binder so that I can show them license. I can build credibility by having, these are the 7 states that actually approved me to be licensed. I didn't say that way, but, pictures of the family to show that you're a real person and you're not just a salesman. And then I have, a little bit of the stuff that I need to take notes in the presentation so I don't ask the same question twice is what I tell the people if they do ask. And the more I did this, the more I took out of this binder. But it's just small, right? Not like a 25-page 3-letter IMO presentation book like some people are given. But it's just enough to get through that first 5 minutes. And then when I was taking paper applications, they would, well, here's your voided check, Nick. Not Nick, Matt. When I did take paper applications, I would just put them all right here, and they would stack up really high on a really good day, so it would look like a lot of people are doing business. Now that I'm not taking paper applications, I just put their info in the back and then pull it out that night.
Got it.
Yeah.
What else is in the Mary Poppins bag, Nick?
So I also think it's important that in your bag, I've seen some situations where people look like a disorganized mess. Mm-hmm. Like I would do a ride along or a reverse ride along, and I'm like, what is that? There's like half of a trans app, a brochure from Forrester's, a business card. It's like, who would buy anything from you because you don't look like you know what you're doing. Right. So if they can see my bag, the inside of my bag is very well organized, and I can just simply have all the carriers that I need at my disposal, so that when I leave, I'm leaving them a brochure, a folder, something tangible to hold on to, because they're buying an intangible product. And I want them to be able to hold on to something from me. Some guys don't leave brochures or anything but a business card, and I just seem to choose the opposite of that style.
Yeah, I keep everything inside my bag in little file folders, so it's easy to tell what's what. I use color coding and stuff like that. I keep other stuff. I keep like a copy of the Medicare and U-Book in my bag. Even if I'm not doing a Medicare appointment, sometimes it's good to just be able to pull something out and reference stuff for people. Even if you're not doing Medicare, I kind of recommend that anybody who's doing final expense get a copy of the Medicare and U-Book, or at least the online PDF, and read it so you have an understanding of Medicare, because that's important stuff to our people. And being able to talk through that kind of stuff with them if it comes up. Mm-hmm. Not that you should be looking for it, but sometimes it comes up, and it's helpful to be able to do that. It builds credibility, makes you seem as though you know what you're doing.
Right. Whenever I get to the point when I'm going to make an application, I pull this very colorful and girly folder out, and it's got all my applications in it that I need. But I always preface with the joke. I'm like, yeah, you can tell my wife helps me out with this one. And so it builds that a little bit more credibility. I don't have pictures of everything in my binder, but it puts me in a position where they know that I'm a family man, and that my wife helps me build my binder. So this is the one I always use for my.
Do you guys think that stuff's all that important? Like I don't know. When I was first being taught, when I was at Combined, my first manager, who's a guy who I'm still friends with, was big on like pictures of your family in your presentation book, and talking about who your family is, and that why you do the business, and like a lot of backstory about you, and kind of a lot. I don't go too far out into that. I just let them know that I have other things going on other than just insurance. I'm not all business, right? Hey, I just bought this new car. I went to a house the other day, and my hair wasn't done. I had oil on my shirt because I was into the hood of my car fixing my car. And I was like, sorry for the appearance. Like, I was working on my car today. Sorry. Like, oh, okay, like you're a real dude. It's like I'm not just some guy that's just showing up, and I have other things going on. I don't tell them the nitty gritty of what's going on in my life. I don't tell them the really bad stuff, but I'm like, hey, I bought this car. The AC didn't work, and so I had to spend 3 hours under the hood of it to get it fixed.
Like, okay, go on, so, but I don't, show them pictures. I don't have the rabbit fold out of 100 kids that I pull out. Like, here's everybody that I have to make money for. Please buy from me. Right. But I'm just very laid back style.
Yeah.
I think I think there is some value in, showing a license, building credibility, explaining that you are a real organization or person or whatever you call your business or your organization, and show that you are not just a rotten salesman working out of the back of your car, that yes, I'm a real person, these are real people as well. And you'd be surprised how many barriers it breaks down when you're having kind of I'm not sure where this presentation is going. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, these people are cute. Mm-hmm. And part of my shtick is I have a really cheesy joke that I tell during the flipping through the family pictures. And in almost all times it gets people to laugh, which disarms them, which allows them to receive information from me better.
What's your cheesy joke? You gonna tell us?
Nah, that is protected information.
Okay. Very good. That's fine. That's fine. I won't go any further on that. What else you got, Nick?
I mean, that's pretty much it. I make sure that I've got. So I guess the other thing is, like, I make sure that my bag is ready to go before Monday morning rolls around. Boom. So that, like, on Monday, I just grab my bag and walk out the door. It's ready to go. Every weekend I reset it. Sometimes I'll reset it during the middle of the week, depending on what the week's been going. But I always make sure that it is, I don't, on the days when I'm going into the field, I want the only thing that I have to think about is going and seeing people and sitting down. I don't want to have to think about anything else. I want to make sure I've got all the supplies I need, all the pens I need, all the business cards I need, everything I need set, ready to go, ready to rock and roll. Drop my daughter off at school, grab my bag, hit the road, we're dead.
I got a great story because that speaks exactly to what Nick said, and being prepared is extremely important. It looks good and it helps you get the business. I had a situation early on in my career where I ran into my very first single premium. The lady had, several $1,000s of cash value. I ran a quote with Baltimore Life. I'm like, I got one. And I look back in my bag and I do not have the proper material in my bag or my car to take this application. Mm-hmm. And that fear of dread just overtook me. Like, I'm new, every app counts, and I don't have this application. So I called my upline / mentor. I'm like, I don't have the right thing to do it. And you know what he said? He said, I guess you're going to the library.
Yep.
Because he treated me like an adult, and it was not his job to come rescue me. And, nowadays everything can be on Notability. If I have that agent, I can literally email him the app and he can pull it up and write it, and he doesn't have that problem anymore. But you should still have immediate access to anything you need in the moment, because it's the overriding theme of credibility and being prepared.
Yeah, no, and you got to be. You gotta have the stuff that you need. And I guess it comes down to knowing what you need a little bit, but what was it? I think I was originally taught you need to have enough applications for every company that you could write 6 applications throughout the course of the day. Every house you walk into, there's 6 people that want to buy, and they've all got to buy from a different company. You got to have enough applications to cover them.
Yeah, I have 2 of every primary company in case it's a husband and wife. Mm-hmm. And then I've got probably 2 or 3 of every company in a little not bag, but a box in my trunk. Mm-hmm. So if I have to restock for the next house, because I don't want to overcarry, but I also don't want to be like, I don't have that brochure. Let me just write it on the back of a business card.
Right. Yeah.
So being prepared, but it's going to be the same from all of us to answer your question, Ron. It's a really good question. I'm glad we got to discuss this on more of a whole topic. So Ron, this one is out to you. We do appreciate your feedback on all the videos. It's been absolutely wonderful. Who we carry? Yeah, we can. But it's been wonderful talking about it. But Nick wants to know if we can talk about who we carry. Explain on that. Chris wanted to know that.
Well, I know there are some companies that do watch, and I know there are some people that are curious. I do not want to leave the meeting. I just clicked on the wrong button. I think it speaks to our next video about compensation pretty well because it, helps us understand who we carry and what separates us from other agents.
Mm-hmm.
So who we carry in our bag that we carry in the house, I think would be cool to touch on.
Okay. I carry applications for KSKJ Life. I carry applications for Family Benefit Life. I carry applications for Transamerica. And then I have information on Liberty Bankers Life, Royal Neighbors of America, Mutual of Omaha, and Gerber. And I may or may not actually finish contracting with Sentinel Security at some point. And I probably should. I'm just busy.
UHL contract.
Yeah, and I hear good things about United Home Life also. I don't know. That's starting to get to be a lot of carriers, though. But the big ones that I make sure that I always have is I always have a lot of fresh apps for KSKJ and Family Benefit. Those are the two carriers that I think between the two of them, for most of my clients, where I live, people that I serve, I think offer a lot of real value to the people that I see. And between those two carriers, I don't need to write very many other carriers very often. And there are some niche reasons why I may need to. And if I do, I've got them, and I'm glad to have them. There's a lot of good carriers out there. Sometimes it comes down to just making choices.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta
It's true.
choose who you work with.
What you got, Chris?
Yeah, I think you can definitely focus on 2.5, 3 carriers, but still have the other ones ready for you.
Yeah.
So what I'm currently focusing on is I have American Amicable up front, and I got these in order to my bag, so pardon the dorkness of it. Family Benefit second, Transamerica third. I tried a few apps with Assurant and really liked them for their COPD benefit. A little bit of America when the niches come up. And then we're getting into the rarely used, maybe once a month category, but they're still, further back in the bag. Liberty Bankers, Sentinel Security for them oxygen folk. Life Shield when you really want to embarrass somebody's rate for the male tobacco users. Prosperity Life. I've got my ancillary health products all in an Aetna folder, and then I've got some Mutual of Omaha in the back. I switched to the back of my bag to carry all my guaranteed issue and near guaranteed issue stuff separate from that. So I've got Gerber. I can't just come to taking AIG out of the bag because I swear that day I'll have an 81-year-old in heart failure. But I have one AIG brochure for that purpose. And then I'm panicked that if I take out this single Great Western brochure, I'll have a 41-year-old guaranteed issue case and I won't have it.
Right. 41-year-old with HIV or something, right?
And with Direct Express, yeah. So I also have a few Gerber brochures that I printed because they won't send us any. Please listen to us on that. But just, the guaranteed issue stuff, including United Home Life back there. And I think this is kind of an interesting touch. I haven't had to use it much, but I wrote a policy for my dad back in December. And I wrote it with Family Benefit just because it's competitive and it's one of my primary carriers. So if somebody ever asks, well, what insurance do you have? It's not really a relevant question because I'm 33 and you're 75.
Right.
Yep.
I can spin it to say, well, I have this company for my father. And when I sell that product, I'll explain to them what their policy is going to look like so they know what to look for in the mail. And it's kind of a spin on, some of the mortgage protection IMOs that sell yourself a policy and such.
Yeah. I forgot to say, I carry sample policies with me also. Like it is a Mary Poppins thing. I got tons of stuff in here. Like I forgot to bring this up. I carry sample specimen policies because sometimes people need to see a policy. So I've got from a couple different companies, but it's a good idea to have. Show people stuff. Show them what a life insurance contract looks like if they don't know. I don't know.
It's good. Mine's simple.
What's yours? Well, yes.
National Life.
Do you carry specimen policies though, Matt?
I don't. I really like that idea. But as far as what I carry, who I carry, it's Security National Life.
Well, yes.
And that's because I'm the market sales director over South Carolina. So I have to be, I'm captive to Security National Life, and I'm happy with it. So post your hate down below. Happy to see it. But I chose the path. It's my path. They've been good to me. So it's actually very simple to just carry one thing and know where I'm going with it. So there's positive and negative everything. Competitors' policies.
I have no opinions on Security National Life. I cannot sell them in my state. So.
Yep. Working on it. And then Chris, I know we're going to finish up after this because I know you want to talk about everything all day, and you've got more notes. I think Chris, do you have, how many notes do you have for this? Let me see, because I don't prepare at all. I literally jump on and go, what's our topic? And then I'm jumping into this because I don't want this to be scripted. I think the people really enjoy that, but I'm bragging on you. But what do you want to talk about real quick?
So I also think it's important, and this is probably one of my trade secrets I'm giving away, is to carry your competitors' material with you so that when I'm going over it and I explain to them why you don't want to buy Global Life, or when you see Global Life a week after you bought my policy, this is what it is. This is where it says term life. These are the rates when they go up, just so people understand, and it removes that excuse towards the end of the presentation. Well, I'm just going to think about, that AARP stuff they sent me in the mail. Well, remember, Matt, AARP is term life, like I showed you, and their rates go up. And we already agreed that wouldn't make a lot of sense, would it? Or explaining to them that the stuff they see in the mail is oftentimes guaranteed issue. And when you see things like limited benefit period 2-year wait on it, that's because you're not covered for the first 2 years. So even if it might seem cheaper, sometimes cheaper isn't better because you're paying for something you're not actually covered.
Yeah, I will. Every time that there's a TV on, I just know that Alex Trebek is going to come on at some point during my conversation for Colonial Penn. And as soon as it does, I stand up near the TV and I wait. And it says modified 2-year benefit wait period right on the bottom. I'm like, see, this is what he won't tell you. They tell you about $9.99 a month. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but if you call in, it's per 1,000. So like, oh, it's going to cost $100. Yeah, it's right there. Now you carry it with you. That's good. That's really good stuff.
Yeah.
So very, very good stuff. But this has been an excellent thing about what we carry into the house. Ron, I hope that you got some valuable information out of that. I hope everybody got some valuable information out of that. I did. I learned some stuff.
You didn't think we'd be able to talk about this for more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I really didn't. I was like, man, it's going to be simple. We all bring bags, and that's it. But it's kind of what's in the bag, right? That's the important part. I am going to get a mock policy to carry with me so people know what they look like. I'm going to get one like tomorrow ordered.
Should be easy for you. You work for the company.
Yeah, I'm going to get it done. It's going to happen. So that's really good. I really like that. But guys, if you want a whole video dedicated to you like Ron got, leave a comment down below. Go email us at theinsurancepanel@gmail.com. Reach out to one of us via direct mail. Not direct mail, direct message.
I'm not giving away my address, but if you can track it down, you're more than welcome to send me something in there.
Yeah, no. Hit us in the DMs, the PMs. Reach out to us some type of way so we can get these questions answered for you. We're going to have another one coming up. I think next week it's going to be let's talk about comp part 2, or let's actually talk about comp. The first one was a very wild video. It was actually the first video that Chris was on. And then we got here Chris full time. So like, comment, subscribe. Y'all have been awesome. I think I saw one of our videos had like 20 likes on it. And for only 150 subscribers, I thought that was actually pretty great. And I know statistically the amount of viewers versus subscribers that we have, that 32% of you are not subscribed. So you better subscribe. We're going to find you. We're going to make this private so you can't watch. I'm just kidding.
We're not doing it.
Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you bring in the house. If we didn't cover something and you bring something, bring it up so everybody else can see. We'll pin it.
Let's ID badges. Are you team Chris or are you team Nick? ID badge, yes. ID badge, no. Oh.
No, I'm not. I'm a no.
You're a no. Okay. So let's put in the comments. Or where do you fall on the
are you
wearing an ID
you
badge?
Team Chris or Team Nick on this one? Do you
Yeah.
bring an ID badge? Post that in the comments below. Anything else, guys?
You got
Awesome.
a disclaimer, Chris?
Yeah,
Yep.
Chris, give us a disclaimer.
Yeah, the insurance panel is just 3 guys from 3 separate organizations speaking their minds about a particular topic. We do not speak on behalf of any particular carrier, any marketing organization or company we're contracted with, or any organization we were prior contracted with. It's just thoughts of 3 guys on a Sunday afternoon.
All right, guys, we're out.
Have a good one.